This is a general demonstrations video for TourTask. So TourTask is a web application, it's a software built especially for inbound tour operators. So basically local companies that operate in a certain place in the world, in your country, where you receive end clients, typically tourists, and you show them your area, you have different tours, and you hire perhaps guides typically and drivers, maybe other kinds of staff as well to help you operate and execute your tour, your service. And you maybe rent vehicles, or perhaps you have a fleet of vehicles on your own. So this software will help you operate your business and help you greatly with all of the logistics and online sales and finance and letting people know of important information. It'll automate those processes. It'll certainly help you a lot if you own or work for a local inbound tour operator. So this is a public website of TourTask, tourtask.com. Here we have a demo of the booking module. So really the booking module is the tip of the iceberg really of the TourTask software, but of course it's important to have some kind of module that integrates seamlessly to your website, which our module of course does. So as you can see, this part here, this is the header of the website, and the content here below the header is here generated by TourTask, by this booking module. So you see from this bar here at the top and all of these tours that we have, this is all generated by the booking module. And the bottom here is the standard website again. So yeah, when you integrate this, you will have your footer here and your header above this bar here. And here in the middle you have the content that is generated by the booking module. So we can select passengers, and then we can see how the price of, here we can have private tour and group tour, and the price of the private tour will change, since typically you will want to charge more for 2 people. The price per person will be higher for 2 people than, for example, for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, right? So you can see how the price goes down gradually. And your client will here be able to choose the currency to one that that person understands better. Let's do US dollar here. Though the price in this integration is fixed in CLP, which is Chilean pesos. So yeah, this price will always be updated according to the current exchange rate. So then your client will be able to have a quick view here of your tours, and then click on the tours and it'll load this gallery here. And you will have this calendar group tour. This is for group tour, and here's for private tour. So for private tours, we know it's more flexible and they can choose any date. And then the group tour has predefined dates that you can choose. So this one here is on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. The start time is 9 o'clock, as you can see. And here we have the gallery. Open this up to full screen. And we can go down here, a short description. And here we have information about what is included, not included, and what we recommend the tourists to bring, and a long description there as well. So whenever the client wants to book a certain tour, they just click add to cart, and then goes back, and then we have the cart here, and then he or she will be able to add more tours to the cart. And here's her add-ons as well, so that you can upsell your tour with optional add-ons. So let's do that one and add this one as well. 20th of March. Or we could put the dates a little bit closer. It makes more sense. This one for the 9th. And the other one is for March 8th. So then proceed to checkout, and here is a tour that is recommended, which the tourist can, which your potential client may or may not add to the cart. So in this case, let's add it as well. So it's a very good idea to add these recommendations, because your client will know that you are the expert at your location. You are the one who knows what's good to do and what not to do. So basically, often if you as a business recommend your potential clients to do a certain tour, many times they will follow that recommendation. So here they add the name. Let's do this. And then there's also some more information that they can fill out. The lodging, for example, arrival and departure, and detailed information about every single passenger. But for now, we'll just go to book and pay. So the booking is created, and then your client can choose from the payment methods that you have enabled. So here we have PayPal, has the plus 5% fee, it says here, and this is a surcharge that you will add. You can add to the payment methods that you want to add to. So this is of course optional, and this money basically it's for you, you know, for your business. It raises the price of the tour, of the booking. So here we can see the total is 1,890,000. But here it goes up to 1,984,500. So this is because of the plus 5% fee, and so this is to cover any high transaction costs of certain gateways. And here we can see the others do not have that in this configuration. So these different integrations, we have created the integrations in TourTask, but you have to register with each and every one of them, so that you can receive the money instantly. Because we as TourTask, we never receive money for you, which some systems do that. You know, some systems, they receive the money and then they do bank transfers every month or so. So in this case, it's not like that, because with TourTask, you will always receive the money directly to your account. So as you can see here, this booking now has a static link. It's this one. So this is very practical, because now the tourist can send this to another person. Perhaps another person will pay the booking. So he or she can send this by email or WhatsApp or whatever, and then that person will have this page loaded instantly. So that's one of the great features of this booking module that we have. So for example, if we can also go back and have a look at this again. So these tours also have static links. So if I click this tour here, for example, North Coast, we can see how this URL will change to 6 North Coast, it says there. So this can also be sent from the business to your clients, or in between the clients. So now let's have a look at the back office. So in TourTask, you will have the initials typically of your company .tourtask.com. So this is a not a real company, it's a test company, AT, Amazing Tours, at.tourtask.com, where you log in. And you may also want to do this one here, keep me logged in, so that you don't have to log in every time. And you enter your email and your password. So here we have all of the different options. So this is what your business sees. Your client will not see this. So one of the most important tools is the operations calendar. So here you can see everything that's going on with your company. So since this is a web app, you'll be able to access this information from wherever in the world. You don't have to install anything at your computer. You can use your phone or a computer from wherever you are, and you will always have access to this information. So here we can see the different activities. If it's red here, it means that there is something that is yet to be done with that activity. So we can see this one here is ready to go because it does not have a red background. Here we can see that we don't have a guide. This one requires 2 guides apparently. You can see a guide and a guide. So we can click this text here and set a new guide. And here as well. And there is something else here that we need to do for this red background to disappear. We can see here that one of these passengers is blinking, and if we hold the mouse over it, we can see lodging unset. The other passengers will not have lodging unset. We can see Hotel Ohana here. So then we have to manage this booking, and then we search for a lodging. So let's select this one here. Then we can go down here and have a look at the booking as well. We can see the email, the name, language, country, and so on, and all of the tours that we have at our disposal to add. And here we can see the tours that are added to this booking. So this booking only has 1 tour, and here we have these 2 passengers of this booking, and we can see the status is paid. Here we can see the payment, and we save changes. Thank you. And here we can go back to operations calendar, and now we can see that this activity does not have a red background anymore. So then we are ready. We only still have to make sure that we charge these 2 clients though. So we can see that these little squares that represent the passengers on the tour, the color represents the payment status of their bookings. So we have to ask this client to pay the booking. So we can either go to manage, to where we were before, and then we go down to the section that's called booking, and then we have this public booking page. So this is exactly what it sounds like. It's the public page of this booking where the tourists will be able to pay. So once again, we have the payment methods that are enabled by this business, and yeah, that's it. And you can also access this public bookings page straight from this menu right here, public page. It's the same one. So you can send this link by WhatsApp or by email. So this area here, this refers to the cost of a certain service provider. So let's put in 50,000 here. So this is a group tour, as we can see. So there's this certain set of seats on this tour, the capacity on this tour. This can of course be changed. To do that, we go to options for group 1, edit, and then we edit this group. So here we can also in theory select more than one group if we want to do mass edit. So for that, of course, we have to be very careful of what we do. It's a powerful tool, but you have to keep in mind that you will edit all of the tours that you have selected. So we could in theory select this range here from the 1st to the 19th, for example. Yeah, but in this case we don't want to do that. We'll only select this one, so I can actually just click it, and then a filter will be applied to this departure of this tour. So departure is one thing and a group is another thing. Actually, I can remove that one And then if I click here, it'll select the group. So this is part of important terminology in TourTask, groups and departures. So let's say we have this departure here, and the group is full. So we can either, as we were planning to do, we can edit the capacity. So 8 is minimum because we have 8 booked seats on this tour. But yeah, so we cannot select less than that. But let's do 10. So then we can change this capacity by saving. And now we can see there's 2 more seats here. So we can also add a group. Let's say 10 is the capacity of a vehicle that we need for this tour. And yeah, so this tour, actually, before we do that, we can add the component vehicle. So as this is a test business, some things don't always make sense, but yeah, so let's have, now we have a vehicle here as well. And yeah, so we can add another group to this departure. So let's say this one is almost full, and we want to, we have confirmed another guide. Let's say we have, oh, let's remove one of the guides. It doesn't make much sense in this case to have 2 guides. Well, you may want to have that in some cases, but in this case it's a small group. And yeah, then we have to add the capacity, of course, of this one as well. Add groups to schedule. So groups added, and now we clicked the group before, so we filtered the group, so it'll only show that group. But if we remove that one, it'll show everything within this date range. So we have these 3 tours here, and this departure now has 2 groups. So it has a separate guide, a separate vehicle. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove that second guide, because it doesn't make much sense to have 2 guides for a small group. To do that, we press this little X here, this cross, but now we cannot do that because this one has a guide assigned. So this is to prevent any errors from being made. So first we have to click apply here, and it says all fields will be cleansed. So that means that since we have not entered a guide here and we click apply, that means that we will remove the guide from that part. So now we can see the guide is unset. So now we will be able to remove it. Yes, you're about to remove it from all the groups. Yeah, there's only 1 group visible, so that's it. So now it makes a little bit more sense. So we can go back to operations calendar, and we can see what we have here. So this one is red here now again, because we don't have a vehicle set for it. So let's enter a vehicle. There we go, and now it's not red anymore, it's white. And we can do the same for this one here. So now this is what it's supposed to look like. So we have 2 different groups with different guides and different vehicles. So these things here, the guide, the vehicle, and you can have other things as well. These are called in TourTask components. So these are things that are required to be able to perform a tour. So you can go ahead and edit this tour, volcano hiking. Go to tours, manage. You can change the standard components for that tour. You go to edit here, and go down, and here we have the standard group tour components. It doesn't make sense to have 2 guides, right? So we'll just remove the second guide and we'll add a vehicle. And for private tour we already have guide and vehicle, and that's it. Then we can save this tour. So we can also create new components if you want to. If you, for example, sometimes have to hire an astronomer or a chef or anything else, you can create this in tours components. So here we have the components that are currently active and working. And so we have some default components here: driver, boat. A guide and vehicle is also default component. So that means that we simply have to click activate here, and then we'll be able to select a driver, which is a type of a user, right? So then to be able to enter a driver into that component, we have to create that person as a user before. And if you want to create new components, just go here. Right. So back to operations calendar. We've been talking about group tours, and group tours always have this green bar here. So blue bar indicates a private tour. It's the same here. You have to make sure that you have all of the information that you need to be able to perform the tour for this red background to become white. So if we would add a guide and a vehicle and add a time here to the tour and also add a lodging, then this red background will disappear. So we have another group tour here. It's red, meaning that this booking is unpaid, and it also has lines, diagonal lines. That means that this is an agency. And sometimes it's good to know that, because it may happen that some agencies that you trust, that you've worked with before, they pay you after the services have been done. So then it's good to know that maybe you don't necessarily have to charge them before the tour, which is of course recommended to do when you're working with people that you don't know, with the end client, for example. So to see the passenger list of a group tour, you click the same button here, you go to view. So this you can pass on to drivers, for example, and guides. Also, when you have added a guide or a driver here to a tour, for example this one, that person will also be able to go into TourTask to the initials of your company.tourtask.com, and then go to my calendar. And here this person will be able to see only the activities that this person needs to see. So this is very useful to make sure that your guides have all of the information that they need for past and future dates. So then we also have another very important tool, which is the Create Bookings tool. So it looks the same as before when we were managing a pre-existing booking. But this is basically it. You enter email, name, country of the person, you can add a phone, and you change the currency if you want to, if you need to. So then this booking will have the tours fixed in that currency instead of the standard one. Here you can add a discount, and you add the tours, and you save the booking. Though typically you'd want for people to book on your website, because it causes less work for you, and it's better for the client as well. They don't have to wait for you for answering emails and so on. So if you want to know more about creating and managing bookings, you can look at the in-depth video for this. So another important tool is one that we have already had a look at. It's planning group tours, and this of course is only in the case of if you have group tours, if you don't only have private tours. So this is a tool that you have to be very careful with, because you have the possibility of editing many tours at the same time. And here you have some more options. You can manage users. This is to help you integrate the booking module to your website. It's recommended that you contact us for this though, because sometimes it may be a little bit technical. And since this code is injected to your website, which makes it possible to have static links and so on, it does not use iframes. Iframes being a very dirty way of integrating modules into a website. So because of this, the so-called CSS styling, like for example the theme of if you have a WordPress website, And the style of a website will sometimes affect the look of the booking module. So to be able to revert those changes, sometimes you have to do some edits. It's some light coding sometimes that's needed. So yeah, that can be a bit technical, so it's recommended that you contact us for that. And here you can pay your guides. If you go here, you'll see all of the guides that you have yet to pay. So we can show an example of that. So now they have all been paid in this business. But for example, let us create a booking here for past dates. And let's add a tour here. Let's add it to last week. $50,000 Chilean pesos, so save booking. So now we'll be able to go to economy, pay, tours, and then we'll see this. You can check all, and then you'll check all of the boxes for all of the tours that you need to pay service providers for. And then you'll have a summary here of all of the different people, all the different service providers, the amount of tours and the total, and then you can click view and pay, and then you mark as paid by clicking this button here, and you'll send email notification, and then that person will receive details about what has been paid. They'll see all the different dates, well, the same thing as we can see here really. So let's not send a notification now, and yeah, just like that. And other than that, we also have the channel manager. This is where you configure the tours that you have on other channels. So currently we have Viator, which is the biggest one in the world by far. And we have Get Your Guide, a growing OTA, online travel agency. So here we can create products for these OTAs, and we can also actually combine tours and feed them to these channels as a single product. So when people book those, you'll still have a booking created in your system with both of your tours that form part of this product. And here we have something very important: customer relations, emailed tour info. So for example, you surely have things that you always inform to everyone. So the idea is that you add this as general information right here. So a title, let's say national park tickets. Everyone are required to have a ticket. Please buy it here. So something like that. And then we can also translate this to Spanish. Just copy this, paste it here, and then we have it in Spanish. And that's it. And here you can add information if they have one or more group tours in the booking. So then they'll receive this text block here. You can add more text blocks as well. For example, just click the add button, and then you can have a different title if you want to, and then some other content there. So for group tours, for example, since you're picking up people and it takes a while sometimes, you may want to add that information here, mentioning that it takes around half an hour, and maybe mentioning that if they are staying at a place with a very small road, the vehicle will maybe have a tough time entering there, so you can ask them to go out to the bigger street outside. And tour specific, here you can add anything that's specific to a certain tour or a certain group of tours. For example, you can add hiking tours and say that if they have any hiking tour in the booking, they'll receive them some information where you can mention, for example, that they need to use sunblock and bring a hat and so on. Then we have configuration here as well, some different stuff, terms, very important, payment options, where you can configure your different gateways such as PayPal and so on. Bookings, this is a good one. So here you can choose what information you require for your customers to input when they book. So hopefully you'd want to not require too much information, because you kind of want to have the booking process be very seamless and a flow, without any trouble, so that you can quickly receive that money and secure that booking. And here you can add, if there is in this area that you have selected, if there are some lodgings that are not found, you can add them manually here. And if you need for your clients to select the pickup location, you can enable that here. So for example, let's say you're not picking up your people at the hotel, you can create the different pickup locations here, and then your client will have to select one of those where they want to be picked up. So that's basically it. That's a general overview of TourTask, and if you have any questions at all, please remember to contact us at tourtask.com or through WhatsApp or whatever way that you prefer. You can go to contact here and you can send us your questions. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.